Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we are re-entering the lost world of the Warlord with issue 18 of the first volume. And under the endless sun of Skartaris, we have Morgan and Tara on their journey to look for Joshua when they are attacked by a large T-Rex type creature. Morgan falls off his horse when he gets startled, and Tara hurries over to get him onto her horse, but it slows the horse down and they're not getting away. The horse trips on a gopher hole and sends them into a ravine, but the T-Rex type creature gets scared off by something even though it had them at its mercy. Unfortunately, the horse's leg is broken and they have to put it down. And that's when they see a large moon-like object, but that's no small moon, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. In fact, it is an artificial construct, and these little sled gliders come out with guys on them that start stunning them. They get the dog first, and Morgan and Tara are able to kill a couple of the pilots, but they end up getting captured and taken inside the moon, which is actually just the outer shell of a space vessel. And these are the survivors of the planet Alsace Shiraz. I think that's how that's pronounced anyway. And the leader is Borna. He's this creepy looking skull face kind of guy. Now, of course, he tells them that they have no choice but to do what he says, and their people are trying to roam free by mutating their genes and altering it to be artificially transmuted to that of humanoids that can live on the planet. And they're going to reestablish their culture on Skartaris and rule it. Well, Morgan doesn't like that, and of course, him and Tara retaliate, and they are captured again. And this time, to get even, the bad guy mutates Morgan into a bull-like creature, but before the process can finish, Morgan manages to break free, and Tara uses some lady seductive powers to lure the idiot into a false sense of security before zapping him with his own gun and escaping to find Morgan. They connect with each other in the hall and are able to get the process reversed, free Shadow, get on some sleds, and escape before one of the guards accidentally shoots the reactor and blows the thing up. It was an interesting little story. It was pretty well done. I actually would have liked to have seen more of these bad guys. I think they could have made really cool recurring villains, so I kind of hope they show up again. Costumes have a real 70s flair, but they're kind of cool. They look like scrawny Cylons. And the main bad guy looked really cool. He looked like an evil Martian Manhunter with a sweet helmet. So yeah, it was a good little story. It probably could have been a two-parter, but comics at this time, especially from DC, were more one-issue stories. So for its time period, it was fun. Definitely a complete story and got to the point real quick. Lots of action. It was a good addition to the series, so I'm not upset with it in any way, and it was a fun adventure story. And if you're just buying a comic off the rack, then you want a full story, this works out just fine for it. So, good job, Mike Grell. Another good book. And this one also featured inks by Vince Coletta? Vince Coletta. Colorist was Adrian Roy, letterer Todd Klein, and editor was Jack C. Harris. And this is The Quest Part 3. So yeah, good issue. Good addition to the Warlord mythos, and features an alien race that we've never seen before, that I can think of at least, in DC Comics. So they should consider bringing these guys back. I think that would be interesting, especially like how did this thing get all the way into the Hollow Earth without deciding to conquer the upper part, and did they have a larger plan? Are there more of these spaceships? Could be interesting to see these guys brought back in some other comic at a later time, maybe a group looking for this ship, because time distortion in Skartaris would make it several millennia to the outside world, or even a shorter time. So maybe there's some other vessels out there that were survivors of this catastrophe on their homeworld as well. But that's for a different time. Overall, good issue. I recommend it. It's definitely a solid read, and the cover's a little misleading because although Morgan does have horns, they're not regular little like dinky horns like that. They actually turn his head into that of a bull. So overall, yeah, fun issue. I recommend it. Check it out. It's another good issue of the Warlord. So if you like sword and fantasy with a little hint of sci-fi, this book is definitely for you. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode.